Alrighty, guys, thanks for joining me. This is your host, ID Jester. We're going to be looking at Eldritch Horror Under the Pyramids expansion. This is, of course, by Fantasy Flight and part of the Arkham Horror Files. You can tell this is one of the big box editions for the core game, Eldritch Horror. So let's find out what's going on in this boxed edition. Eldritch Horror Under the Pyramid expansion, the Dark Pharaoh rises again. Long ago, the pharaoh Nephren-Ka governed Egypt with such malice and cruelty that his own people eradicated all evidence of his reign. Now the Brotherhood of the Beast has uncovered the truth and conspired to return the Dark Pharaoh to the throne, dooming Egypt and all of humanity to the age of wretched slavery. You and your fellow investigators must take haste to Egypt and brave this most secret and haunted place to put a stop on the cultists and ensure that Nephren-Ka remains forever in his tormented slumber. Under the Pyramid expansion features an Egypt sideboard enabling investigators to explore the nation's bustling city, barren deserts, and mysterious archaeological sites. 8 intrepid new investigators join the struggle against the Ancient One, aided by invaluable relics, powerful spells, and legendary allies, including the archaeologist Enric Bowen and the illusionist Eric Wise. Unprecedented wonders and horrors await you under the pyramids on the shores of the Nile. Alright, so let's open the box and see what we get inside this expansion. We've got a few of these live unboxings to do. Alright, this is your typical Fantasy Flight thickness box. Good quality, great art, and nice fashion size. So we got the rule book, we have a board, we have some tokens, we have a bunch of new cards, more cards, more cards. We got the ancient ones and probably our heroes, and then we got some little standees and our little box protector to hold everything in. Alright, so let's take a look at these one at a time. We'll start with the rule book. So this is just going to be a few pages of new rules. So under the pyramids, the expansion overview and how to use this expansion. So when playing with Under the Pyramid expansion, add all expansion components to the respective decks or pools of Eldritch Horror components, except for the components described below. Everything will be marked with this little pyramid icon. Prelude cards. The Egypt sideboard, local paths, adventures, unique assets, impairment tokens, additional rules, mystery, skill values, optional rules, frequently asked questions. Yep, pretty much standard stuff there. Let's take a look at our boards here. Few tokens to add to the game here. Maybe. There we go. All right. So we got some new investigators. Very familiar artwork if you're familiar with the Fantasy Flight Arkham Horror series between the living card game and their previous editions of Arkham Horror. You'll see this images quite a bit. So typical hero investigators. Looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them. A new dial. Of course, we have some more health and sanity tokens. Proof of purchase. I don't know what that's for, but some new clue tokens. So in this game, the clue tokens actually will go to represent each different space when you draw it out of the cup. So in the back side, they will tell you this is a certain spot, certain location. Cairo. And this is Alexandria, the Sahara Desert, the Nile, the Bent Pyramid, and Tel Amira. So different location spots. All right, we got some new monsters to put in the cup, of course. And it looks like some new boss monsters as well. Some new gates, which will probably correspond once again to these different locations. Heart of Africa, Cairo, the Himalayas, Antarctica, the Nile River, the Sahara Desert. We have Ablath, the Child of Ablath, Hunter of the Dark, some cultists, Quinsil Utis, Spawn of the Seabank, the Sand Dweller, the Fire Vampire, and the Crawling One, and some cultists. Okay. And then some tokens for stat boosting for the heroes. Need to get this out and play it again. So, let's see what our new board looks like. So this is going to be a sideboard. All right, open up for me. There we go. All right, so the Heart of Africa. Nile River, you can go to the Heart of Africa. From the Heart of Africa, you go to the Nile River. And then Tel El Amarna. All right. And then from Space 10, you can go to the Sahara Desert, then to Alexander, then the Bent Pyramid, and then to Cairo, and then to Space 17. You can go this way. So this will kind of use those spaces on the main map to get to this board, or, you know, based on card effects, you might be sent there or whatever. Let's see what new and ingenious cards we have to worry about now. So we got the Ancient One here. And a different one. And then some location cards. And I don't remember these cards. What are these cards? I'm not sure. And yep, so we're just going to mix these in with all the regular cards. Nice stack of a bunch of them. Do. See what's in baggie number 2. Probably much of the same. More cards for whether you're in a city, a wilderness, or the sea zone. You're going to have different, well, these are going to be, the red are going to be for the board here, because it has Alexander, the Bend Pyramid, and Cairo on it, depending on if you're in one of those locations. If not, then you're going to draw a normal location card. These, interesting enough, are the Sahara Desert, Tel Al Amar, and the Nile River. So if you're on those locations, so if you look at our board again, yeah, so brown card, and then orange or red card for those locations. All right. Good stuff there, as always. Obviously, if you're not using that board, you won't use those cards. Then you got more to use for your regular locations. And of course, your different events that happen. Okay. We'll look at our dark ones here in a second. Let's see what's left in the little box here. Little bag of stuff. All right, so what do we have here? We have just different events and things. Know thy enemy, cryptic text. So you're going to draw one of these. Fossilized samples. And then they're going to have a associated event or something that you can use, and then flip it over. Each one of these, even though they're the same card, they'll have different text on the back to kind of randomize things. That's cool. Doo-doo-doo-doo. We have also the purple deck, which is spells, right? Enchanted Grace. Again, each one of these will have a thing, and when you cast it, then you're going to flip it over and read the text on it. So every time you play, it'll be different, which is one of the cool things about Eldritch Horror. Then it looks like we have some diseases and haunted, back injury, and blessed and cursed effects. Add those to those decks. Despair. So you can see 4 copies of Despair, but each one's slightly different than the others, I believe. Then you got some common items you'd add to the common deck that people can purchase. Psychoanalysis, treasure hunters, magnifying glasses, ritual candles, sledgehammers, Anka, lucky talisman, the arcane scroll, the enchanted dagger, evil ward. It's cool. More cards, more better. And then we have some, I think these red ones are the legendary or unique, whatever they call them in this game. So Book of the Dead, Scales of Thoth, the Twin Scepters, and the Shining Trapezohedron. So more stuff to add to the game. And let's see what our new enemies and allies or heroes are going to be. Aboth. 14. Cultists don't have any effect. Whenever an investigator encounters a cultist monster, he draws and resolves a Spawn of Abath special encounter. Oh, that doesn't sound good. Set aside 8 cultist monsters and all Abath special encounters. And here's the decks. When the lead investigator spawns one cultist monster on a wilderness space that does not contain a cultist monster, then if there are 6 or more cultist monsters on the game board, advance doom by 1. So you have to go fight the cultists. And instead of fighting the cultists, though, you fight the Spawn of Abath special encounter. When 3 mysteries have been solved, the investigators win the game. When Abath awakens, flip the sheet over and resolve. Alright, well, that doesn't sound great. Then we have Nefrin Ka. Looks like the mummy. He's at 12. Cultists are 1/1 with 1 hit point. An investigator on a space or an adjacent space loses 1 health or sanity whenever the little symbol activates with the cultist. So an investigator on this space or an adjacent space will lose health or sanity. Nefrin Call. Each investigator may move 1 space toward the bent pyramid every time that little symbol happens. Then each investigator that did not move loses a sanity. Oh, so it forces you to come towards him. When 3 mysteries have been solved, the investigators win the game. And when Nefrin Ka awakens, flip the sheet and resolve his effects. So 2 new enemy bosses to encounter. And we've got some new heroes here. We got Hank Sampson. So 1 lore, 2 influence, 3 observation, 4 strength, 3 will, 8 life, and 4 sanity. Action, test your strength. If you pass, discard 1 monster on your space with toughness less than or equal to your total results. Oh, that could be very cool. And then you do not resolve the sanity test during a combat encounter unless you lose health from the strength test. Huh, that's pretty cool, actually. That's pretty cool. Harvey Walters. We got Harvey back. Yay, Harvey. Harvey's back. 3 lore, 2 influence, 3 observation, 2 strength, and 3 will. 4 life, 8 sanity. Action, another investigator in space improves 1 skill of his choice if your value for that skill is equal to or higher than his. Oh, so he can buff everyone else up. So buff up their lore. Yes, not so much strength or influence, but will, observation, and lore. So you can see if he's on the same spot as Frank, he can buff up his lore, his influence, because it's the same, his observation. He couldn't do strength, but he could do will. So, Harvey, you beast, you, Mr. Harvey. Nice. After resolving a research encounter, you may spend 1 clue you gained from that encounter to improve 1 skill of your choice. Oh, so he can buff himself. That'll help him buff others as well. That's pretty good. Not going to complain. Joe Diamond, 2 lore, 3 influence, 4 observation, 2 strength, and 2 will. 7 life, 5 sanity. The Private Eye, Joe Diamond. Action, choose ally, service, or weapon. Then discard 1 asset from the reserve and replace it with 1 random asset from the deck that has the chosen trait. So you can choose ally, service, or weapon. Discard an asset from the reserve, and we're going to replace it with either an ally, a service, or a weapon. Now that's cool, so you can kind of cycle through things to get things you're looking for or might help people. And then once per round, you may improve a skill Also improve one other skill of your choice once per round when you improve a skill. So when he improves the skill, he can also improve another skill of his choice. So he would work great with Harvey. Once per round when you improve a skill, another investigator on your space improves one skill of his choice. Yeah. So if Harvey was with Joe, Harvey could improve his skill, and then he would get to improve it again because of his ability. Well, that would be good. Mandy. Just Mandy Thompson. Just Mandy. Mandy, what's going on? 3 lore, 3 influence, 4 observation, only 1 strength, and 2 will. 5 life, 7 sanity, action, draw 2 clues from the clue pile. Spawn one of them and discard the other. So she can make clues appear. That would be good. And she gets to draw 2 of them and choose which one to spawn. After resolving a research encounter, if you gain exactly 1 clue from that encounter, gain an additional clue. So she's good at getting the old clues out on the board. That's good. Then we have Min Tai Fan. 3 lore, 3 influence, 3 observation, 2 strength, 2 will, 6 life, 6 sanity, action. You and another investigator on your space each gain 1 travel ticket of your choice. So that would be cool. You and another investigator in your space each gain +1 to all skills. If there is another investigator on your space, you and another investigator on your space each gain +1 to all skills. If there is another investigator on your space, or you have 1 or more ally assets. So yeah, so she would work really well with Joe, right? Because Joe can cycle guys out of the reserves and choose ally to put allies on there, so she could grab an ally. And because you and an investigator on your space each gain +1 to all skills, if there is another investigator in space, or you have 1 or more allies, so getting her an ally would be ultra important, I think. Monterey Jack, 2 lore, 2 influence, 3 observation, 4 strength, 2 will. The Archaeologist, 7 life and 5 sanity. Action, you may discard 1 artifact to retreat doom by 1, to discard the top card of the expedition encounter deck and perform 1 additional action. You may discard an artifact to retreat doom by 1, or discard the top card of an expedition encounter deck and perform 1 additional action. Okay, and then after resolving an expedition encounter, gain 1 relic unique asset. So yeah, he goes and does expedition encounters, gets a relic unique asset, and then he can discard an artifact to retreat doom, or discard the top card of an expedition encounter deck and perform an additional action. Okay. Rex Murphy, 2 lore, 3 influence, 2 observation, 3 strength, and 3 will, 7 life, 7 sanity. Action, gain the number of assets of your choice from the reserve with total value less than your influence. So he can just get assets based on his influence. If you do not have a cursed condition, gain a clue. Improve 1 skill of your choice and gain a cursed condition. So he can curse himself to gain a clue and improve a skill, but then he gains the cursed condition. Ah, cool. And Sister Mary, 2 lore, 2 influence, 3 observation, 2 strength, 4 will, 5 life, 7 sanity, action, test, will. For each success, you or another investigator in your space may discard 1 madness condition. So she's really good at getting people to get rid of their madness conditions. You and another investigator in your space add 1 to the results of each die rolled as part of a bane or boon condition effect. Right, so banes and boons and madness. She's really good at getting rid of that stuff. Cool, all right. So we got, obviously, Nefrin Ka and Abath, plus the new investigators, plus all the new cards. We get the Under the Pyramids board to add more spice and locations for your investigators. Go to new decks of cards. And I'm sure there's probably a few new rules and stuff associated with all of this. Adventures, impairment tokens, unique assets, additional rules. Let's see here. Combat encounters. Oh, so now monsters don't always have strength or will to test. Some of them have different icons that this players will need to use for their combat test. Some monsters now have magical resistance. Some monster and epic monsters in this expansion have a magical resistance ability. Resolving a combat encounter against a monster with a magical resistance ability, an investigator cannot apply any bonuses to his die pool for magical possessions or spells. Effects that allow the investigator to reroll dice or manipulate dice can still be used as normal. Physical resistance, same thing, but with physical. This expansion introduces a new mechanic, Advance the Active Mystery. Due to the complexity of mysteries that can result in a number of different effects, an investigator are instructed to advance the active mystery. The active investigator resolves one of the following effects. If the active mystery requires one or more tokens to be placed on the card, place one token of the type on the card. If an active mystery requires an epic monster to be defeated, place 2 health on the card. If an active mystery requires an investigator to spend 1 or more clues, place 1 clue from the clue pool on the card. All right, well, there you go. That is going to be a look at Eldritch Horror Under the Pyramids to add to your Eldritch Horror adventures. Lots of good stuff. Thanks for watching, and we'll see everyone next time.